since June 6th, before yesterday, the Rangers 10-15. Astros 11-13. Angels 13-12. Seattle 11-12. So it's kind of like what you guys were talking about the other week. We've not now, but we had built more of a lead in the division with less success because the other teams have not put more pressure on us. But I'm officially nervous. I'm officially getting nervous about Houston now reclaiming their spot atop the division.
Look, it is getting a little tight. There was a time in the year, the early part, really the first 2.5 months. They basically just won every series. They found a way to win series. And, basically since the Tampa series, they found ways to lose series. And that's a good way to have a team slowly creep up on you. Now, the good news is that despite the fact that they're 10-15 in the last 25 games, the Astros have barely been able to take advantage of it. And so have the Angels. And so have the Mariners. And that's great news. The last thing you want is a team to get red hot when you're also, in a slump. You want that team to be red hot when you're red hot. That's a good way for them not to make up ground.
Because Houston is now thinking, okay, here we go. That's what they're thinking. They had their nice little cute run. You can have all your little all-stars. We got Altuve back, and that we're the best, and we know that we're the best, so we're going to go ahead and start pressing down on the accelerator. That's what the Astros are thinking.
Yeah, you're going to have a couple of slumps a year as a team. Now, a great team is not going to have multiple 25 to 30 game slumps. They're going to have one.
Generally, yeah.
Like a true, great team is going to have one extended 3 to 4 week blip where it's like, if you don't take advantage of this as the other team, you're not going to catch them.
Mm-hmm.
And, if the Rangers truly are that, then this is it. This is their slump.
And, Bobby, what was your point about Dane Dunning after the performance yesterday?
Dunning throughout this year, I think that has he been their best player? No. Like, their best player is Corey Seager. They're obviously guys who are better than them. Nathan Eovaldi's been great. But I think in terms of just that old debate about, what does most valuable mean? Does it mean best, or does it mean the value they've provided, the headaches they've helped you avoid?
Yes.
And if it's the headaches they've helped you avoid, you can make an argument Dane Dunning is way up there as the MVP of the team this year, because he was incredibly stable bullpen option for you in April, going long outings of relief. He had 4 separate outings of 3 innings or more of relief, and those were 3 of those 4 games they won. And so that was huge for you in the first month of the season. Then he came in. He's been asked to start since Jacob deGrom went down, and he has been fantastic the entire way. He's not
allowed more than 3 earned in a month. 3 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs. Yesterday, 1. Has not allowed more than 3 earned in a month's time.
And he's the losing streak stopper. So they have the bad series against Houston. What does he do? He goes out there, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run allowed. You had that stretch that started this whole tough 25-game stretch where they were losing to St. Louis and Tampa and Los Angeles, and they lose 2 in a row to Los Angeles and Toronto, and then he goes out there against Toronto, and what does he do? 6 innings, 2 runs allowed. Same sort of thing. Back in May, they lose a game to Seattle. He comes out, 6 innings, a run allowed. Again, they lose to Atlanta that first game of the series. He comes in, wins the game, 6 innings, 2 runs allowed, whatever it is. He has just been a consistent streak stopper. He's helped it. Chop, I know you said that with Jacob deGrom, that was one of the big things that you were excited about with him, was you knew every 5th day there was a good shot that no matter how bad your team was, you weren't going to get more than 4-game losing streak.
You're going to end it.
And Dane Dunning's been that guy, which is stunning to think about. But Dane Dunning has been the guy that it's like, if he's going out there every 5th day, you feel good that the streak's going to stop.
I'm actually doing him a disservice by just talking about a month. He hasn't given up 4 earned or more all year long, except for the 1 start against the Cardinals on June 6th. Nothing. He's got a 2.61 ERA, 8-1 with a 2.61. Meanwhile, the Massholes were not happy that their starter got pulled after 5 hitters yesterday. They pulled the old starter move. Is that what they call it? Not the starter.
The opener.
I'm sorry. The opener. And it was like 5 outs, and Dave Raymond on TV was like, I understand the concept, but this guy's kind of going along pretty nicely here to start, and then the new guy comes in and starts getting pummeled, and the fans are booing there at Fenway.
Yeah, it's very weird. The opener, I don't like it. I get, if you don't have a starter, make it a bullpen day. But, dude, I mean, you really hamper your team the rest of the series if you don't have, if you don't have players that can actually, they had, obviously, Murphy went, almost 4 innings, but my gosh, I mean, you kill your team.
So Bobby's point was about Dunning. Your question is about Aroldis Chapman. And how long is it going to take?
Yep. How long? How long before they actually make a move, if they do, for Chapman to be the closer? For not because Will Smith hasn't deserved it, and he has definitely done a good job this year. But typically, you want a closer who's done it before in a big spot, multiple times. But the other thing is, Chapman, his velocity is a game changer, and Smith's velocity is what, low 90s, 93, 92. If I was looking for this, I couldn't find it, but I bet that in terms of closer's velocity, he is bottom third.
Oh, yeah, I would guess so.
And I mean, there's anything wrong with that. I mean, 93 is still fine. I mean, you can still blow by guys if it's, if you mix your pitches up right, it's in the right spot. But 99 to 100 to 102, that's a game changer. Now, you don't want a guy who's wild as hell, maybe necessarily out there as a closer, but he's done it for 10 years now, and he's done fine at it. So I just wonder, is this kind of just a decision that is already made, and they're just waiting for the right time to do it?
Hasn't there been some discussion? And again, I have not looked at this specifically, and I don't know how you would define it or narrow it down, but hasn't there been chatter in the last few years that some people have felt like Chapman has, when it's been the really high leverage situations, that's when he's kind of faltered?
I mean,
in recent years.
I mean, he gave the home run to Altuve in the ALCS.
And so is there a little bit of a, look, Will Smith's shown he can hold down this job. Like, let's not put Aroldis Chapman into some sort of situation where he might be forced into a high leverage, lose his comfort, lose his confidence, get a little more wild. If you don't want Will Smith, if you don't want to move Aroldis Chapman, do you then just, call San Diego, say, hey, what'll it take to give us Josh Hader or something like that? That may be something that they have to explore. I don't think they're done moving for bullpen pieces. Like, I think they've still got to add another bullpen, a big bullpen arm. But you hope Spores and Smith against the Astros, that was a blip. And you hope that you can explain that away as just, hey, it's a one-off. Jankowski didn't do Will Smith any favors on Monday. Spores was pitching on back-to-back days for the first time in a month and a half. So you would hope you have a pretty solid 7, 8, 9 inning right there, just with Spores to Chapman to, Will Smith.
Bullpen or starter, the bigger need? Cost included. Add another starting pitcher or another bullpen piece?
So starting pitcher, I'm looking for a top-end guy.
Me too.
They've got enough guys who can just eat up innings in the 3, 4, 5 starter role. I'm looking for a Scherzer. I'm looking for a top end guy, even though they're not going to get Scherzer. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking for top
Stroman.
end. Yes,
Those
Stroman.
names.
Bullpen. Yeah, that's important because you're going to use bullpen. You would use a bullpen pitcher in more games the rest of the year, and particularly, preferably high leverage situations.
Which one? You got to pick.
So I feel like high leverage situations has obviously been the biggest problem for them this year. It's innings 7, 8, 9 is where they've lost a lot of leads. But to me, I think that you've got to feel good about where Spores, Chapman, and Smith line up. You think you've addressed the final 3 innings of games. So to me, probably a starter. It's just what's going to be available out there to you.
Meanwhile, I guess we don't have an offensive clip of him in the system. I'm not playing the 2011 clip in right. I'm not going to do that.
There's got to be.
I know.
An offensive. We know there is. I mean,
I know.
I don't even know who you're talking about, but I know who you're talking about. There's got to be. I specifically remember us going back and saying, man, did you listen to the crack of that bat?
Yes. Roberto, is it time to go get Nelly again?
Look, Nelson Cruz, it has not been great this year for the Padres. He was designated for assignment yesterday. The last 2 years, his OPS, it was 651 with Washington last year. It's 681 this year with San Diego, but he still has pop. Like if you look at the exit velocity, the way he's barreling things up, he's still hitting the ball just as hard as he has for the last decade. He's somebody who clearly appears motivated to keep playing. He wants to get to 500 home runs, I think. I think that's the big thing for him. He's 36 away, I think it is. And so somebody who's motivated, you've had trouble at DH all year. Why not see if a homecoming or reunion, just on the cheap, see if it could work out and see if they might be able to capture some magic. They've done this before. Remember, they scooped up Josh Hamilton from the Angels when he had really nothing left.
Look at this fall off a cliff power-wise.
Oh, yeah.
He's 43 years old, by the way. Go. In 2019, he hit 41 home runs in Minnesota. Here are the numbers after. 16. Well, I guess I got to combine these two. So he did hit 32 combined in 2021. Last year he hit 10. This year he has hit 5.
Yeah, it's look, it's what happens, man. He's 43. He's my age. He's my age. I moved. I helped Sarah move into the house on Saturday. I feel like I aged 6 years. Like, I'm dead serious. I'm like, what happened? It's like a traumatic event where it's like you just wake up from the surgery and all of a sudden you're just weak. I work out a lot, and I feel like I aged 6 years doing that.